Welcome back to the Corporate Rejects podcast, and welcome if this is your first time listening in. I am your show host, Amanda Davila, and I am excited to continue to provide support and empowerment through your journey to entrepreneurship. Hey guys, it is September 2021 and I am back. I took a bit of a hiatus over the summer. We traveled to the mainland and spent 6 weeks there and came back to Hawaii and finished up our condo renovation, and it's officially on the market. I'm so excited to get this place sold and get on to our next adventure. But today I wanted to share a bit about working from home options with you. I have had a lot of you in my inbox freaking out, which is totally legit, and I get it. But I felt like I could better serve you by talking it out and explaining a lot of different ideas and situations and really sharing my heart. So I hope you enjoy this. And really just listen and open your mind and use those critical thinking skills and start thinking about ways that you can make money to support yourself and your family, even if you are being threatened to lose your job, if you have lost your job, if you are, being put on an unpaid leave, whatever it is that's going on right now that is putting you to that point where you're like, okay, I have to figure something out. Like, there are options for you. You have more skills than you realize. And I'm really excited to share some options with you. Today, I just wanted to open up the platform for anyone who had questions to come and be able to ask us questions without, any concerns, no judgment, no one's trying to sell you anything. No one's trying to push you into anything. Just a straightforward, open conversation about what you can do. So no matter what your reason for being here, what your why is, what it is, why you're here, you likely need to make money, right? You need to figure out a way to make money from home, or just not in the traditional sense. So I have had a lot of you in my inbox this last week, with all of the new threats and everything coming out about, losing your job. I think most of the dates are in October. For a couple different dates in October, some people towards the end of September. A lot of you have already just left your jobs. Some of you are holding on, hoping that they, are just kind of bluffing that you're not actually going to lose your jobs, or just, trying to push their agenda. So whatever your reason is, like, I'm not here to talk politics or about anything like that. I'm just wanting to make sure, like, no matter what your situation is, whether you're a healthcare worker or any other kind of employee, what's going on is not okay. I really hope and pray it's just a blip, right? Like, well, of course we all hope that a lot of businesses are bluffing, right? But also, like, all of these healthcare workers who are having to leave their jobs or being forced out of their jobs, you're not all going to be out of jobs forever, right? Like, something has to give at some point. Like, you're needed, okay? So it might look different, right? Like, who knows what's going to happen? But, like, if you work in a hospital now and you're being forced out of your job, where you end up might look different, or maybe just for a while, maybe for long term. We don't know right now. But just know this, like, you keep probably seeing the threats about how hospitals are shutting down their labor and delivery units. Well, babies are still coming. People still need assistance with birthing. This is just one example. So people are going to go somewhere, right? Like, where are these people going to go? Where are all of these pregnant mothers going to end up? So someone's going to help them, right? So if you are a labor and delivery nurse now and you are being pushed out of your job, fired, whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to not be able to help people deliver their babies anymore. It just might look different. So it might look like more of a like midwife type style, right? Like it might look like that. Like it might be more in-home births or working in a birthing center, like a not traditional in the hospital one. It might look different. I can see a lot of people in the same situation, right? Because it's not just you. There's doctors, nurses, CNAs, medical assistants, pharmacists. I mean, pharmacy techs, chiropractors, everyone, right? Naturopaths, surgeons. I mean, across the board in the medical field, there are people who are being forced out of their jobs. So all of those people who are holding the line and not going to submit to what's going on, they're going to start popping up in other ways. So the way I can kind of see it happening, and this is something that I've been hoping for and looking for a long time, actually. And I know that have been popping up over the last few years. I feel like I've heard in Canada it's more common, but there are some in the US now. Clinics that come together of different service providers all in one, and they work as a team, right? Like a holistic team. And it's not just, oh, okay, you go to your PCP and they say you know, you've got this knee issue, they automatically refer you to a surgeon, and like, okay, all of a sudden you're having a knee replacement, right? It's a place where you go and you have the full team looking at your situation and looking at ways to help you feel better and heal without immediately going to just, surgery or medication. So I've also seen in these clinics, massage therapists and Reiki masters and different disciplines that can help you, right? Psychiatrists and therapists. Like, it's a really, really cool idea. So that's not what this conversation is about, but I wanted to share that because I wanted to make sure if you are a healthcare provider or healthcare assistant or any type of healthcare worker, like there are already some of these places, and I think there's going to be a lot more because, right, like people still need help, and this is the way that healthcare should be. So anyways, I just want to share that, like, just so you have some hope and like something else to look for, to know that you have options. I know not everyone here is a healthcare provider, but a lot of you are, because that's my background. So if you don't know me well, my name is Amanda Davila. I worked as a nurse. I worked in the healthcare industry my entire adult life. I've been a nurse for 11 years. And when my son was born in 2017, I didn't want to have to go back to work and leave him. I did for, I think he was 10 months when I finally quit. It was the end of 2017 when I left my traditional floor nursing job, and started working from home. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that because that is going to help give you, if you're a healthcare provider, options, and ideas. So I went back to work. I was miserable. I hated leaving my son. I was, pumping in the bathroom when I had a chance, and it was awful. It was not ideal, and I missed him like crazy. And I knew that that's not the type of mother I wanted to be. Nothing against full-time working mothers. If you like to do that, if you are okay leaving your kids, that's totally fine. That just wasn't me. I didn't have a kid so someone else could raise him. I wanted to raise him myself. So this is my story, right? So your story of coming to this place might be different, but this is mine. So I was searching desperately while I was on maternity leave, unpaid maternity leave, of course. And then while, anytime I would be breastfeeding, and at nights and weekends, anytime I could, I was searching for a way to make money from home. And all I could find was stuff that I didn't want to do, or stuff that didn't seem legit or realistic, or, just seemed unattainable or stupid, honestly. I knew I didn't want to be a salesperson. I don't like selling stuff. So, I tried lots of those things in the past, and I just didn't like it. Wasn't for me. Some people make amazing money selling products for other companies, and that is fantastic for them. It's just not me. So for me, that was out. And, different little things came up. Like I had a friend, one of my best friends, who is a real estate agent, and she mentioned doing what's it called? Transaction coordinator. So doing a lot of the real estate transaction type stuff behind the scenes that, like if you've ever sold about a house, you might have seen that there's a lot of work, but there's also a ton of work and detail stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And a lot of times, real estate agents will have basically like a direct assistant doing all of that paperwork and clicking all the different things and getting everything ready. So that was the first time I was like, oh, maybe there is a way I can make money from home. Now that still required that, maybe I go into the office occasionally, or, I had to be available to make sure things got done by a certain time, like strict deadlines. Because again, if you've ever sold or bought a house, like there's a lot of deadlines, it's very stressful. When you want to make sure everything, happens on time and correctly. And if one little thing is off, like throws everything off. So transaction coordinator is a really, really important job. At the time I was really interested and I would love to work for my friend, but I also knew like ultimately I didn't want to feel like I had to be on really strict deadlines all the time like that. But also I knew in my heart that I wanted to move away and I didn't want to have her spend all the time and resources to train me. And then I was going to move away and not, be wanting to do that anymore. So there's a lot of reasons why I decided not to do that, even though it was a great opportunity. But that could be a really great opportunity for someone. So I wanted to share that one job because I think that would be really great, especially for someone in the medical industry. As a nurse, I'm a nurse, so I tend to refer back to nursing things because that's my background. But lots of other medical personnel also would be amazing and are very detail oriented. But as a nurse, you have to have very great attention to detail, critical thinking, be able to triage things in your head and to make everything run smoothly and safely. So that's one of the reasons that nurses and medical professionals make amazing virtual assistants, transaction coordinators, all these different types of jobs that, because even though it's not medical related, like your brain knows how to do those things and well. So when I finally left my nursing job, I'll tell you about what I did in the transition. But when I started working online as a virtual assistant, I did really, really well, even though I had so much anxiety about feeling like I didn't know like what the heck to do or what I was doing because I didn't have any like real computer skills. Like, yeah, we used electronic medical records and back in school, like we, did stuff on computers, but it had been a really long time, like, since I had really done much on computers besides just medical stuff and then like basic, Facebook scrolling and email. So I didn't have a lot of confidence that I would be able to work online. But what I found was like complete opposite. All of those strengths and experiences that I had from working in the medical field translated beautifully to the online space. So working for online businesses, it really was a smooth transition. So I just want you to know, like, even if you don't feel like you know how to do anything online, first of all, there's a YouTube video for everything. Okay. A lot of them. There's a lot of online training you can do to learn how to do different skills. And a lot of businesses will gladly train you. And a lot of them already have training for you, right? Training videos, SOPs, something telling you or showing you exactly how to do things. So if you have the I will figure it out, can do attitude, very resourceful, critical thinker, okay, all those things, nurses, medical assistants, CNAs, all of those, those skills and traits. If you can do that, you can absolutely find a way to make money online. Okay, so back to what I did when I left my nursing job, end of 2017. I had worked for a medical office before, and one of the surgeons started his own practice, and he wanted me to come work for his new practice. We've been talking for a while. Like he had tried to recruit me many times, but I, was pregnant and I had a new baby, and I just was like I'm not going to start something new, And eventually, so it was December 2017. He agreed because I said I would love to work for you, but here's the thing, like I don't want to leave my kid. So I came up with a plan, right? So, and I presented it and it worked out. And I did this for over 2 years. So I presented this plan of, okay, you want me to be the nurse in the office. You have, a handful of medical assistants, a full team, right? You have nurse practitioners, physician assistants, like you have everyone there doing their thing. You want to bring a nurse in. Why? Okay. You want someone who's licensed to talk to patients on the phone, pre and post op, answer their questions, help give advice, triage those calls to decide what needs to be done. You want someone who the medical assistants can turn to ask questions and, have assistance and advice. So my idea was I will do all of that from home. So, of course, traditionally, a nurse at home doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But I think now more than ever, especially with all of the telehealth going on, which, the pandemic brought about a lot more telehealth. Like I've had telehealth appointment checkups, like, especially when it's just like a check-in thing. Like there's no reason for me to get ready, go to the doctor's office for them to just check in. How's it going? Good. Awesome. Okay. Continue on or whatever. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of these situations now. And I've seen a lot of friends and family do it too, like where they actually have like legit like stuff going on and they can have a telehealth appointment. It's really cool. So my point is more than ever now. So when I did this, it was before all this, right? This is 2017, 2018. But it showed me that there are absolutely options for people to continue their nursing career online or use the skills and background they have from the medical field and translate those into working with online businesses or local businesses, but from home. There's absolutely options. So anyways, so I did that for over 2 years. I worked from my home office with an infant, and I had all the phones forwarded to me, all the patient calls. So if patients would call and, they're about to have surgery or they had surgery or they had a procedure done or whatever, any nursing type question would come to me. And then, everything's electronic. So I could send prescriptions in, I could call prescriptions in, I could send orders. I could, patients could text me a picture of their wound, and so I could assess it and I could talk to them and decide, okay, you need to go and be seen or do this or do that, or, whatever, like so many different questions, pre and post op, pre and post procedure, that kind of thing. So it worked great. But I still, through all of that, even though that was the biggest blessing, I still wanted more freedom. So I was doing this, and then nights and weekends, I was still looking for something I could do online to make money that didn't require me to be available during certain hours, because I knew that I didn't want to have to be available from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I wanted to be able to work when I wanted to, and I knew from the second I had my son that there was no way I was sending him to daycare or school, that I would be homeschooling him. So I knew that I had to figure out something so that I could be more available. Also, I wanted to travel. I wanted to move, which we did. Early 2020, we moved from Oregon to Hawaii, and where we're at now. And now we are looking to leave Hawaii and go travel around the US. So if I had a traditional job, obviously that wouldn't work. Even if I was a travel nurse, I would still have to go to certain locations for a certain amount of time and be working my butt off, which I didn't want to do, away from my family. What's the point of traveling if I just working myself to death, right? And so for me, finding something I could do on my own time, on my own schedule. So that's when I became, in 2018, I started working as a virtual assistant. Again, it was a lot of work. I still worked my nursing job from home, still had an infant, but I was, nights and weekends, and in between things, I was building my virtual assistant business. And what that looked like was, yes, a lot of hard work, but also it was amazing. And eventually I was able to leave the nursing job and just freelance as an independent contractor. Now, this is something else to think about. I know that there's like a ton of stuff, right? I don't want to overwhelm you, but I was able to leave my nursing job and we moved to Hawaii, and we have been freelancing and not working traditional jobs, which has been even better due to, pandemic, being in a new place, all of that. But now with these new restrictions about uh, businesses who have 100 or more employees, not being able to employ unvaccinated people. First of all, I'm like super proud of a lot of businesses that I've already heard, who are, if they have to fire people, they are, firing, not just firing. Oh, they're not saying, oh, you're unvaccinated. Okay, you're fired, right? They're trying to get down to 99 employees, those ones that are on that cusp. So that's great. But here's the thing. Those businesses, and if you are watching this and you are a business owner or you do hiring, this is something for you to think about. You can hire independent contractors because they're not employees. So if you need to get your employees down to 99 or less, that doesn't mean you have to actually not have the same workers. You can fire people and then hire them as independent contractors. So that is a way around it. But also, even if you don't have to do that, that's a way to still grow your business and grow your team without having to worry about hitting that 100 employee mark. Start hiring independent contractors. There's a lot of benefits of hiring independent contractors. So again, whether you are looking for a way to make money online or you are looking to hire people, this information is really beneficial because independent contractors, so if you're hiring someone to work from home as an independent contractor, they're not an employee. So first of all, you don't have to pay them benefits. You don't have to pay for their desk or their chair or the computer or their internet access or anything like that. As an independent contractor, we provide our own, right? We show up, we provide our own stuff. You don't have to worry about any of those things. So it's actually very beneficial and cost effective. So even if an independent contractor has a higher hourly or package rate, you're still likely saving money because you're not having to pay all of those employee expenses. So, and also for businesses, another reason they like to hire independent contractors, especially online businesses, but even local businesses, is space, right? Like the more employees you hire in a traditional in-person business, the more space you have to have, the more equipment you have to have, the more toilets, the more, more janitor time. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you've never run a business, you may not think about that, but like there's so many things, right? More electricity, more everything, having in-person employees. But by having independent contractors who are remote, you don't have to worry about any of that. So it saves businesses a lot of money. There are a lot of huge businesses that are completely run online and with independent remote contractors and sometimes remote employees too. There's nothing wrong with being a remote employee. There's, like I said, there's lots of options. So when you're first leaving like a traditional job, it can feel really scary and like you just don't know, right? The unknown, the fear of the unknown. So it can feel scary to just be like, I'm going to be a freelancer, I'm going to be an independent contractor. Like, where's the security in that? But as more and more people are seeing now, is there really any security in being an employee? Maybe a tiny, tiny bit here and there, but with the way the laws are, now you can be terminated for not, getting an experimental drug injected into your body. So that's huge. Like, there's really no security, right? Like anyone can lose their job at any time for an abundance of reasons. So getting past that fear is really hard. So for me, when I left my traditional job, doing a remote nursing job, I was still an employee. That felt safer to me, right? Than just like quitting my job and just throwing myself into something I had no idea. Like that felt safe. So I did it. So if that's what you need to do, like that's okay. Like there's a lot of people that are like, being employed is the worst thing in the world. No, it's not the worst thing in the world. But being a remote employee is, a heck of a lot better than being like a regular employee. And it helps you to see like, oh, like, okay, like working from home is a real thing. I think more people realize that now because the last year and a half, a lot of people who never thought it was possible have been working from home. Kids have been going to school from home. Like there's so many things. You're going to your doctor's appointment from home or from wherever you are with your smartphone, right? You're having a visit with your doctor over your phone. I remember when I was postpartum and having a lot of postpartum depression and anxiety, I was had text sessions with a therapist, like trying to help me work through everything, right? So, like for me, as a new mom, a busy mom, an introvert, someone who didn't want to, first of all, go in person, but also like that, even like talking on the phone or even on video would give me anxiety. Being able to text it was amazing. And there are jobs for anyone out there, like like no matter like what your style is, what your personality is, like businesses need people to do chat support. So if you hate being on the phone, but you love helping people, you can be a chat support person, right? Like I love chat support. I will always choose chat support over phone calls. I don't want to be on the phone. So there are so many options for you. And I never did that kind of stuff. Like even as a new virtual assistant, I didn't, I think I did a little bit of email, like I would answer some emails occasionally, but that wasn't like what I wanted to do. I wanted to do other things. But there are people who love doing customer support and, customer service. Like if you've been a receptionist, or, a phone support person or, whatever, like there are tons of jobs like that out there. There's so many options. So anyways, I'm going to get to the questions that came in, but I just wanted to share a little bit about like my past, my history, and like how I ended up here and why I feel called to share as much as I can, because I know that there are so many people out there who are terrified of how they're going to support their families. And I know because I get lots of messages in my inbox and I see, people posting on social media, like trying to figure out what to do. So anyways, just know like there are options. So some of my favorite ways to make money virtually, or I shouldn't even say that anymore because there's lots of ways to make money, even not like online or like being a virtual assistant or being a web designer or being a social media manager or an online business manager. Okay, these are all jobs I've done online, but also other ways to make money. Renting your car out. I've been sharing about this because we've been doing this for a few months now. I think we started in June. We have 2 cars. We have 1 parking spot. So we leave our extra car at my in-laws and it just sits. So we were getting ready to go to the mainland for an extended period of time to visit for the summer. And our car, like my car, which is newer and like nice, good car for renting out, which is going to be sitting here. So we decided to put it on Turo and see what happened. It was insane. Let me say that. Within 15 minutes of posting my car, I had 28 requests for rentals within 15 minutes. Okay. Yes, we are in a high tourist area. We're in Maui. But all over the US, there's rental car shortage. So even when we were going to the mainland and I was looking in Oregon, not in Portland, like Southern Oregon, like didn't think I'd have a problem getting a car. I couldn't get a rental car. And even on Turo, there was like 2 cars left. Like everything was rented out. So you don't have to be in a like super high tourist area like here to make money renting your car out. So if you have, a relatively newer car, I don't even think it had to be new. It had to have less than 130,000 miles on it. And my car is only like 2 years old. So if you have a car that would qualify, you can rent it out. And it's super easy and chill, and it's mostly passive income. Depending on where you are and what the rental market is like, you could, be able to charge more or less. But also I have seen people purchase a car just to rent it out like this. And it's nice because fees, but all the stuff, right? And it includes like the insurance and, all of that. So all you have to do is list your car and then accept rentals and then obviously clean it in between and have it ready for the person renting it. So I'm sharing this because if you have an extra car already, or now you're home, whether it's because you're homeschooling your kids or you have to be home because their school's closed or you lost your job or you're on unpaid leave or whatever it is, and you have an extra car, might be an option for you. If you have the funds to purchase a car, or, you decide to do it as more of a business and you purchase a car with a loan and do it that way, that's an option. There's lots of options. I'm just trying to share them with you so like there are ways to make money. So for us, it was like, oh, like we already have an extra car. I mean, sure, I love my car and I prefer to drive mine, but that's the one that can, make money. So when it's rented out, we drive the other car. It's not a big deal. We've become a one-car family out of necessity because we only had one parking spot at our condo. We've always had two cars. We still have two cars, but we've always had our own cars. And it was really hard for me to think about, like, if he takes the car and goes somewhere, I'm stuck without a car. But it's been fine. And obviously, if there was an emergency, there's always, Uber or Lyft or a taxi. So anyways, you do what you have to do, right, to make money and, do what you got to do. So that's one way to make money, not doing online work, but not traditional, right? And then let's see, what else? Doordash, like Doordash, Bite Squad, Hopper, like all those different food delivery services, Uber Eats. My husband and I started doing Doordash because, at one point we were trying to make extra money. So he does it a lot more than I do. I've only done it probably a handful of times and it was fine. But again, I prefer to be home with my kid. And so he just does it most of the time. Plus, he's more of a people person. I just, like to avoid people in person anyways. I love connecting this way. So he does it a lot. And, most of the time, you're averaging at least $20 an hour. And you're just picking up food, dropping it off. Like, it's easy, right? Like, so if you have a vehicle and, you obviously have someone watching your kid, there's two of us. So, if I was a single parent, that obviously might not be the best option unless, grandparents or someone was, watching my kid. But for us, that works. So that could be something that works for you as well. So I like to share those things because it's easy to get started, right? Doesn't take long. There's also like the grocery shopping ones, like you can do like Instacart or Shipt. Like there's another one, can't think of it right now. But anyways, you can do that where you are kind of like DoorDash, but you're going and you're picking up groceries. When you're doing that, you're actually shopping. You're doing the shopping, and then you're taking them and delivering them to the home. So again, like, yeah, that takes some work. And yeah, I mean, you're not going to take your kid along with you to do those things, but if you have the resources to do that, then that's a good way to make money. And again, like, I want to stress, like, this could just be like a transitional type thing during this blip and the crazy weirdness going on right now. So it doesn't mean you're going to be stuck doing that forever, right? Like, we're programmed to, like, okay, we go to school, we go to college, we get our job, and we work that job until we die. It doesn't have to be like that. Like, this isn't forever. I mean, maybe you'll love it and you will do it forever, and that's fine too. But like, don't feel like whatever you decide to do right now during this time to provide for your family, don't feel like you're stuck there forever. It doesn't make you less of a person. Sure, when I decided to DoorDash, I was like, what are people going to think of me? Like, am I going to look like a total loser because I'm doing DoorDash? Like, no, like, I have a nursing license. I make money online. I wanted to make extra money. It was actually kind of fun because I got to explore new areas because, we're in a newer place. And I was going to provide for my family. So ultimately, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that old saying, like, the opinions of other people aren't going to pay your bills, right? Like, who cares? Maybe you're going to be out of work for a few weeks or a few months. Like, who knows what is going to happen with all of these, threats of laying off or firing or putting on leave, unpaid leave. Who knows what that's going to look like. But regardless, like, you need to make money. Okay. So whether you're delivering food, doing grocery shopping for people, like whatever, like, and these are all just things that are easy to like sign up and do. Of course, you can start your own thing. You can, especially if you're a healthcare provider, you can start helping elderly people or people with, kids that have medical issues. Like, you can be an in-home caregiver. You can do, help people who have medical conditions. You can go and help them, around their house, take them to appointments. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of options. You can be an Uber driver, or you can start your own thing where you're, doing like medical transport. I mean, there's so many different options out there. So like, I want to make sure, like, it might not look traditional, but those options are absolutely out there. So, we've talked about different job options, right? Whether they're in person, online. Oh, the other one I was going to say for in person, I see this a lot here in Hawaii because there's a lot of people who have either they have land or they live on land that has an abundance of fruits and vegetables and flowers and stuff. So if you have a farm or you have anything unique to your area that you can harvest and sell, like, you can do that too. Like, there are people here who have chickens and fruit, and they put it all out on like a stand on the side of the road, and they make really good money, which like seems crazy, right? But like, that's like going back to the basics of like how to make money. But you might have the opportunity. Like, we don't, because we live in a condo here, so like we don't have that option. But like, I see people all the time where they're like, oh, like, we have an abundance of bananas because our banana trees just, like, had a huge harvest. So like, whatever that might look like, right? Like, so just like, get creative and think about what options you might have based on where you live, what kind of property you have, like whatever. I've also seen people who are renting out space on their property for XYZ. Sometimes they're renting out a spot for people who are RVers to park for a night or two. Like, when they're boondocking, you don't have to have full hookups. Like, you just provide a spot, right? There's people who are renting out different things on their property, like an Airbnb. You can freaking do it with like tents. you can set up like a camping experience for people if you have property and sell that. Like, I mean, there's so many options, right? So just think about that. So when it comes to online working, because that's my forte, but obviously, like I've just shared, like, we do a lot of other things to make money too. Just new experiences. I like to try things, right? I mean, not do it forever, but I want to try it. But working online. So you can work as an independent contractor, freelancer for big companies, small companies, medium companies. There's more and more companies, whether they, traditionally hire employees or they traditionally hire independent contractors. More and more are now hiring independent contractors, freelancers, to work from home because of all the reasons I explained earlier. But, whether it's pandemic related or just office space related, that kind of thing. And now with, keeping it under 100 employees, but they need more help, they're hiring independent contractors. So there's a lot of options out there. So working online, a lot of the questions I've been going through my DMs trying to pick out like the top questions. So a lot of the questions I get are about, well, I just don't know where to get started, right? So I'm a nurse, I'm losing my job. Like, I don't even know how to get started working online. So right now, like, when I started, it was, yes, out of necessity, but in a different way, right? I wanted to be home with my son. You might be, I'm losing my job, or I just lost my job, or, I can't continue my job, or whatever it might be. So what do I do? So what you need to do is think through, like, your why, right? Like, you might love your job, but you can't continue it because of everything going on. So your why. So now you have to figure out what am I going to do? So many of us don't believe that we have skills besides what we do at our job. So like I've said before, many, many times, as a nurse, I didn't believe I had any kind of skills to work online. I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I've created a a worksheet for you that helps you start to pull out, like, these are the skills I have, and then you can start seeing how they translate to the online space. So I have a free just worksheet, free starter kit worksheet that I will send to anyone who came to watch this. For some reason, it's not letting me paste links into the chat, and it's super frustrating. But I will make sure you get that. Sorry, it's really hot in here. I'm like shut in my office, and the air conditioners are in the other rooms. So if I'm dripping sweat, that's why. It's Hawaii, it's hot. But anyway, so the starter kit is a really good place to start because, like I said, it helps you pull everything out of your head, because you might be just like I was, and you're like, I'm a nurse, I can't work online. What are you talking about? You can. And it'll help you figure out what types of tasks, jobs you might want to do. So it's a really good place to start. So I'll make sure to send that to everyone who watches this. And if you're watching the replay of this, I'll make sure that the link is posted with the video. So make sure you grab that, start going through that. Starting to lose my voice. I've been talking for so long. And then also, like, make sure you're in my free Facebook group, the Corporate Reject Connection, because that's where I spend a lot of time, and I go live and answer a lot of questions and give you direct advice and assistance and answer all those questions. But yeah, so today was really just about opening up the conversation. Like, what are your questions about working from home or making income in a different way? So if you're on and you live now and you want to ask any questions, like, go ahead and unmute yourself. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. But yeah, the biggest one is just, I don't know where to start. What do I do? Like, I'm freaking out. Like, I hear this a lot, and I totally feel you and understand. So just know you're not alone. There are a lot of people going through the same situation, and they're just like, what do I do to make money? If you came onto this video, Zoom room late, you've registered if you're on here, so I'll make sure to send you the recording. Make sure to go back and watch from the beginning, because I share a lot of different options for ways to make money that are non-traditional, but legit, like, right? Legit, and like nothing weird, nothing illegal, nothing salesy. Like, not that there aren't lots of people who make money selling things, like, it's totally legit. It's not my thing, so it's not like what I share about. But I just want you to know, like, there are lots of options. So if there's any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself or put it in the chat. And like I said, join my free Facebook group where we have these conversations all the time. And you can always get direct access to me there. But yeah, I will give you the link for the starter kit, free worksheet, help you pull the stuff out of your head, navigate through that. So yeah, all right. If there are no questions, I will go ahead and stop this recording. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I am here to help you figure out a way to make money in a non-traditional way, as people are losing their jobs or being threatened jobs or being placed on unpaid leave. This is what I've been doing, since 2018. So I have a lot of resources, a lot of connections, and a lot of different ideas. So anyways, okay, have a great day. I'll see you later. Thank you so much for listening in. I am trying to reach as many moms as I can to help support and empower them in their journey. So if you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave a 5-star review on my Apple podcast page. I know as busy women, entrepreneurs, and moms, our time is extremely limited and valuable. So to sweeten the deal, I am buying the next 10 5-star reviewers their next beverage at Starbucks. Instructions are in the show notes, and I am so grateful for you. I love supporting moms, and I love moms supporting moms. See you next time.